If some people say there's nothing new in electroacoustics since the 1950s, what would you say about that?
It's true. It's absolutely true. The concept remains the same. The drivers, it is exactly what it was at that age. What changes is the material, the technologies in building the drivers, and this makes a huge difference anyway. And so the performance you are able to obtain with the same technology, almost 50 years old, is anyway growing and growing every year. But the technology still remains basically the same.
While in engineering, do you work with simulations, with measurements, only sound or vibration?
Well, it is, a multiple approach. I don't actually work with simulations, but I work with measurements, of course, and I work a lot with sound. We have a very well-balanced approach in both measurements and sound. Measurements and sound. Measurement is always a starting point. I believe that a speaker doesn't sound fine if it measures bad, but not all the speakers that measure fine sounds fine. This means that the starting point is the measurement, and then the final touch is always by ear and by heart. I'd like to say.
Do you measure vibrations? Or?
Yes, sometimes I measure vibration. We started to make a very strong work about vibrations, particularly with this new amazing project. One of the patents involved in the project, that is the ZWT, the zero vibration transmission device, has been developed making a lot of vibrations measurements, particularly the measurements present on the cabinet, trying to avoid it, but more than everything, the measurement that the cabinet transmits to the floor. Because the key element of this patent was to avoid the transmission of vibration to the floor and to the whole listening environment. And this is why we made a lot of vibration measurements on the cabinet and on the floor, around the cabinet, at different distances. But anyway, we do.
The floor is very heavy, isn't it? So.
Well, not always. But this is a long story. And this is, as it often happens in hi-fi, a matter of a point of view. We believe that the normal approach with speakers is coupling them to the floor, avoiding the vibration to remain on the speaker and trying to make the vibration going into the floor. This works only if you make those vibrations goes not actually to the floor, but to such a big mass that is unconnected with the floor. If you're able to transmit to couple the speaker to a big mass and let the vibration go into this big mass that is separated from the floor of your listening room, it's okay. But most of the people doesn't have that chance. So coupling directly the speakers to the floor creates vibration, particularly when you are listening to and you are using a high-performing loudspeaker on the bass, and you normally feel the vibration also under your seat. And this is something that always trying to aim the most natural music reproduction. When you go to listen to an opera, to a theater, the big drum hits sometimes. It never makes squeeze your ass, but it moves the air. It comes against you, but it never moves your seat. So moving your seat is something unnatural. This is why we wanted to avoid it, and we think that the best way to do is to decouple the speaker from the floor.
And do you perform a listening test? How? How many people? how do you select listeners or listening rooms?
Well, we have our own listening rooms that we well know the behavior of the rooms. That is very important because you have to keep things controlled. It's a very complicated process because you are trying to use scientific parameters, scientific approach, even if you are doing something that is not completely scientific, because you are using yourself. The measurement tool is the person. Okay, so you have to create a situation as controlled as the best controlled situation. But the measurement instruments is yourself and the people. So I don't select people. We all love music in Sonus Faber, and we all exchange opinion about listening session we do. We also listen the speakers with different equipments because it is very important that the equipments are selected taking care of the kind of speaker we're talking about. And so we do a lot of work trying to understand what is the target for the speaker, because being a measurement instrument as a person means that you have to, just before making the measurement, you have to tune the instrument. So you have to understand, okay, right now I'm judging an affordable two-way system. Okay, what is the best under my point of view for an affordable speaker system? This is the way we proceed, and obviously we have many different opinions. We share together, and we don't stop until all of us are satisfied.
Yeah, because sometimes you make very slim cabinets, and sometimes very wide. How does it influence on the final sound, and how does it interact with rooms? So, I mean, you have the
ellipse and the violin shape and the lute shape.
Okay,
let's say.
I mean, you have two very different solutions.
Yeah.
So, both of them should be good for you. So.
Yes, they are different approach. Generally speaking, the slim solution allows you to achieve, a particular feeling, that is making the speaker completely disappear. This is the best result you can get with a slim cabinet solution. But it is more critical under many point of view. Its placement to achieve this kind of result is slightly more critical under our point of view, particularly the distance from the side walls is very critical when you have a slim design. Yeah. And of course, you also achieve a particular kind of soundstage. Soundstage is very important for us because it's soundstage where everything is well placed. Once you have tuned up, everything fine is well placed, well detectable, pretty away from the speakers. But when you move to the other shape, you have different advantages. Perhaps you lose some depth. Of course, you lose a little bit the disappearing of the speakers, but the subject on the soundstage grows in a way that gives them a body feeling. It's no more a point or something like that. It seems to be something having a thickness, I'd like to say. And this is something we like. Another important thing is that the white panel allows you to stay pretty close to the side walls, and this is very helpful in most of the situation. I mean, the slim design gives you a better deepness of the stage. It's pretty obvious, but the wide design gives you wideness on the sound stage.
Okay, I think that the explanations is very useful for those who should decide.
I'm glad about that.
What's your favorite model, Sonus Faber?
Well, this is I don't have only one, honestly.
It's like choosing between your sons.
Yes, exactly. Well, I grew up as a music lover more than everything with the Minima. So Minima remains in the whole Sonus Faber history something very special. I have a deep feeling and a deep connection with Ellipsa, because Ellipsa is my very first child, and without taking care of the flagship speaker, it is the more performing speaker I designed. I mean, talking about the one the people knows, of course. And I love it. I love its warmth, its airy sound. I love its presence on the bass. I love it. I also have a good feeling with the liuto. The liuto is something I'm pretty proud about, because I believe it is an excellent value for money. I believe that it's something that the music lovers can look to start this fantastic trip into the music reproduction machines, and trying to understand how much quality can be shared into music reproduction. And so the liuto is an important speaker to me. Also the auditorem, just to say the last one, because it is a wonderful two-way system with an amazing bass response in comparison, taking care of its tiny dimensions, and it has an amazing ability to disappear from the stage, particularly to its shape, but to a warm tonal balance, presence, bass, airy hikes. Those are my four favorite: Minima, Ellipsa, auditorem, and liuto.
And which one do you have at home?
Ellipsa.